sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. And today, we start with a coin that proves exactly that. That simple idea sets the tone for our first and highest-ranking coin of today's video. A coin most people see every day, use without thinking, drop into change jars, or hand to a cashier without a second glance. A coin so common in appearance that it blends in everywhere. But hidden within its design, its history, and its minting process is a feature that separates it from the millions of ordinary examples made in the same year. This is the 1984 Roosevelt dime. Before we focus on the specific coin itself, it helps to step back and understand the setting in which this dime was produced. By the 1980s, the Roosevelt dime had already become a familiar part of American currency. It had been circulating for decades, carrying the portrait of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, chosen as a tribute to his leadership and his connection to the March of Dimes. The design was simple, balanced, and consistent. For most people, it was just another coin that passed through everyday life without much attention. The Philadelphia Mint in 1984 was a busy place. The country relied on circulating coins for nearly every type of small transaction, and millions of dimes were minted to keep the economy moving smoothly. The machines ran continuously, striking blank planchets and sending out fresh coins into the world. Under ordinary conditions, this process is precise, efficient, and standardized. But even the most reliable systems have moments where something doesn't align perfectly. And this is where the story of the special 1984 dime begins. Collectors know that certain minting irregularities can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into something worth examining more closely. These irregularities are not intentional, they often come from where on the dies used to strike the coin or slight misalignments that occurred during production. Most of these irregularities never become anything notable. They show up as minor imperfections that don't change a coin's value or interest level. But very rarely, a die produces a feature different enough from the standard design that the resulting coin becomes an object of interest among collectors. For the 1984 Roosevelt dime, the appeal comes from one such difference. A limited number of coins were struck with a die that displayed clear doubling in certain areas. This doubling is a result of the die itself receiving its engraved details more than once in slightly different positions before it was hardened and put into production. When this happens, the details on the coin, such as the date, lettering, or parts of the portrait, can appear to have a doubled outline. What makes the 1984 dime especially interesting is that this doubling isn't found across an entire production run. It comes from a single die or a very small number of dies, which means the number of examples that left the mint with this feature is extremely limited. Millions of 1984 dimes exist, but only a very small portion show this unique doubling. Most of the coins made that year circulated normally, blending into everyday use, while the few with this feature slipped into circulation unnoticed. Even among the coins that do show doubling, condition matters greatly. Circulating coins pick up scratches, wear on the high points of the design, and overall surface dullness. These signs of use are expected, but they affect the coin's desirability among collectors. A rare coin in worn condition might still be valuable, but a rare coin in near-perfect condition is on a completely different level. That's what set the most famous example of the 1984 double die dime apart. It was discovered in exceptionally sharp condition, with strong detail, clean surfaces, and clear evidence of the doubling. The difference was unmistakable to trained eyes. It is these well-preserved examples, especially those graded at top mint state levels, that attract serious collector attention. They reflect not only rarity in design but rarity in condition as well. Collectors appreciate this coin because it combines a few key qualities. It's tied to an everyday denomination, it comes from a modern era where fewer people expect major minting oddities, and it exists in extremely limited numbers. Coins like this remind collectors that valuable finds aren't limited to ancient coins or early American classics. Sometimes they are modern, small, and easy to overlook. The 1984 Roosevelt dime also carries an element of accessibility. Many people enjoy the idea that a valuable coin might still be out there in circulation or hiding in a forgotten change drawer. It encourages curiosity. It encourages people to look closer at something they might normally ignore. And it builds appreciation for the minting process, the history behind each design, and the subtle differences that make certain coins stand out. Over the years, this particular dime has become well known in numismatic circles. Online forums, coin shows, and collectors who specialize in modern eras all recognize it as a standout piece. While many dimes from 1984 look identical at first glance, the small group with the doubling error sits in an entirely different category. Their value reflects rarity, condition, and the steady interest that collectors continue to have in well-defined double die coins. Because this coin is the first and highest-ranking pick in today's video, its value is revealed only now, after understanding the history, the minting context, and the features that make it desirable. The finest known example of the 1984 P. Roosevelt dime with this doubling, preserved in top mint state condition, reached an impressive price when it was sold. The value recorded for this top-quality piece was $70,000. The next coin on our list comes from a year that most people overlook completely, yet it ended up producing one of the most surprising modern finds in the dime series. The 1989 P1 dime doesn't stand out in everyday circulation, and for decades it didn't attract any special attention. But a small group of collectors discovered something about this coin that set a few rare examples on a very different path from the typical pocket change dime. When the Philadelphia Mint produced dimes in 1989, the process was fast, continuous, and heavily automated. It wasn't a year known for unusual minting activity, and nothing at the time suggested that anything rare would emerge from the presses. However, one of the dies used that year didn't behave like the others. During its preparation, something about the die's surface or alignment shifted slightly from the ideal specifications. While this didn't cause the bold, obvious features you'd see on famous double die coins, it did create a distinctive pattern that became noticeable only once people started examining certain 1989 P dimes more closely. What makes this coin interesting is how subtle this difference is. It isn't something visible from arm's length. It shows up in the texture, spacing, and crispness of areas that should have been sharply defined. Collectors who study dies and varieties describe it as a misprepared die surface, meaning certain details came out softer or slightly displaced compared to the normal strikes of the same year. Coins struck early from this flawed die carry the clearest version of this variety. As more coins were produced, the die continued to wear, and the effect became less distinct. Then, at some point, the die was retired, and production returned to normal. That sequence of events is what makes the affected pieces so limited. Only coins struck during that brief window show the unusual traits that later attracted collector interest. Most of these dimes entered circulation quickly. Once they mixed with millions of other 1989 dimes, the chances of someone noticing the difference became extremely small. The flaw wasn't dramatic enough to catch the eye of a cashier or someone sorting change. Even coin roll hunters often passed right over them, assuming every 1989 dime was the same. It wasn't until dedicated variety specialists examined these coins under proper lighting and magnification that the physical differences became clearly recognizable. Once confirmed, collectors realized that the number of known pieces was very small, far smaller than typical modern varieties. That scarcity gave the coin a new identity among specialists who focus on late 20th century minting anomalies. But even a rare variety stays modest in value unless exceptional condition enters the picture. And this is where the story of the 1989 P1 dime becomes especially impressive. A particularly well-preserved example surfaced, one with outstanding surfaces, strong luster, and minimal signs of handling. Dimes are small coins, and high-grade survivors from the 1980s aren't common because they often left the mint in bags and accumulated marks quickly. Finding one with both a rare variety and top-tier preservation is the kind of combination that significantly elevates collector interest. This high-grade example went through professional grading, where its condition and the distinct die characteristics were confirmed. Once word spread, the coin became one of the standout discoveries from the decade. For collectors who enjoy searching for overlooked varieties, this coin proved that unexpected finds are still possible in relatively modern years. It demonstrated that even a coin from the late 1980s, a time many collectors assume carries few surprises, can hide something worth taking seriously. As more people learned about this variety, interest slowly grew among those who enjoy searching through bulk bags, rolls, and inherited collections. Some collectors even noted that this coin encouraged them to recheck years they once ignored. Others began comparing dies more carefully, realizing that subtle variations can be just as meaningful as the more obvious ones. The 1989 P variety also helped highlight the importance of die studies for modern coinage, showing that careful observation can reveal features that would otherwise be lost to time. And with so few confirmed examples, every newly discovered one continues to spark discussion within the hobby. The 1989 P1 dime variety is appreciated today because it represents the kind of quiet rarity that doesn't announce itself. It emerged not from a major minting event but from a small deviation in the process. It's a reminder that the mint's machinery, even in more recent eras, can still produce coins that break the pattern in subtle but collectible ways. Collectors who follow modern varieties often mention this coin when talking about unexpected discoveries, because it shows how even routine minting years can produce something that later becomes significant. Some hobbyists even began organizing their own searches specifically targeting late ADS rolls, hoping to uncover another overlooked piece. And although only a few examples have surfaced, the story continues to motivate collectors to pay attention to details that others might miss. With all of that in mind, we arrive at the final detail that places this coin high on our list. The finest known example of the 1989 P1 dime with this rare die feature reached a notable auction result, one that surprised many collectors who weren't familiar with this variety before. That top-grade example sold for $64,000. Up next is a coin from the mid-1990s, a decade many collectors often overlook when searching for rarities. The 1994 P dime, at first glance, is just another piece of pocket change. Millions of them circulated without fanfare, and for decades, most people assumed nothing special could emerge from such a modern year. Yet, hidden within the ordinary, a small number of these dimes were quietly set apart by subtle differences that would only be discovered years later. In 1994, the Philadelphia Mint operated at full capacity. The production lines were fast, automated, and precise. The goal was efficiency. Millions of dimes needed to enter circulation without flaw. For most years, this system produced nearly identical coins, leaving little room for the kind of rarities that excite collectors. But even the most advanced minting processes can produce anomalies, and that is exactly what happened with the 1994 P dime. The anomaly was not obvious. Unlike dramatic mint errors that show doubling, misstrikes, or missing elements, this dime's difference was subtle. A tiny imperfection in the die, perhaps an uneven surface, slight misalignment, or minute metal flow irregularity, resulted in features that were softer or slightly altered from the standard 1994 P dimes. To the casual eye, nothing seemed amiss. Only careful examination revealed the variation. For years, these coins blended in with regular circulation. They passed through countless hands, cashiers, banks, collectors, and everyday people, without drawing attention. Coin collectors at the time were more focused on older, historic coins, and no one suspected a modern dime could hold such significance. The subtle variety remained hidden, quietly waiting to be discovered. The discovery came when dedicated variety specialists began scrutinizing coins from the 1990s under magnification. They noticed slight irregularities in the texture, spacing, and sharpness of the design elements. These tiny differences confirmed that a specific die variety existed, creating a previously unrecognized niche within the modern dime series. Early strikes from the affected die displayed the clearest characteristics of this variety. As production continued, the die began to wear, softening the features until it was eventually retired. Only coins struck during this brief window retained the distinctive traits, making them exceptionally rare compared to typical dimes of the era. Collectors began hunting for this dime with renewed vigor. Coin shops, online auctions, even forgotten jars of pocket change suddenly became treasure troves of potential discoveries. The excitement grew as reports of additional specimens emerged, each one carefully compared to the original known example. Enthusiasts marveled at how a coin so seemingly ordinary could hide such a secret. Condition played a critical role in the desirability of this variety. Most dimes from the 1990s circulated heavily, accumulating scratches, bag marks, and general wear. High-grade survivors were extremely scarce. A specimen that remained nearly pristine, with original luster and sharp detail, became the centerpiece for collectors seeking modern die varieties. The 1994 P dime demonstrates the thrill of discovery in coin collecting. Its story encouraged collectors to revisit years they might have previously ignored. Many began checking rolls, inherited collections, and coin bags, realizing that even seemingly ordinary modern coins could hold significant surprises. It highlighted the importance of careful observation and patience, traits every serious collector knows are essential. Beyond rarity, this coin also underscored a lesson about modern minting. Even in a highly automated, quality-controlled environment, small deviations can occur, leaving permanent traces on the coins. These traces, invisible to the casual observer, create a quiet form of scarcity that is highly valued by specialists. It's a reminder that rarity is not only about age or dramatic mistakes but also about subtlety, timing, and preservation. Collectors who specialize in modern coins were particularly excited by this variety because it reaffirmed the value of studying contemporary minting closely. The 1994 P dime became a symbol of the unexpected, proof that even the most recent decades of minting could still produce noteworthy, collectible anomalies. After careful study, documentation, and grading of the finest known specimen, it became one of the most sought-after modern dimes among collectors. Its combination of rarity, condition, and subtle die characteristics placed it at the forefront of modern numismatic interest. Rumors swirled, and whispers in collector circles hinted at a coin that could fetch astonishing sums. And now, the moment every collector has been waiting for, the finest known 1994 P dime is valued at an astonishing $58,000. Even more astonishing is how such a small, unassuming coin, one that might have been lost in a pocket or a coin jar, can carry such immense value. It reminds us that treasures aren't always hidden in vaults or buried in the ground, sometimes, they're quietly slipping through our everyday lives. For collectors, it's a call to look closer, to study more carefully, and to never underestimate the ordinary. The story of the 1994 P dime also inspires a broader lesson: patience and observation often uncover what others overlook. A coin that many once dismissed as common has now become legendary. Its journey from pocket change to prized collectible is a testament to the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the magic that lies in the details. The 1994 P dime stands as a testament to curiosity, diligence, and the magic of discovery. It proves that in the world of coin collecting, even modern coins can surprise, inspire, and become legends in their own right. And for those who dare to look closely, who persist in the search for the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary, the rewards can be nothing short of spectacular. In the last segment of today's video, we turn our attention to a coin that seems almost too modern to be considered rare, the 2005 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it's just another dime in your pocket or tucked away in a jar of change. Millions were minted, and for most people, it's an everyday coin, completely ordinary. But as we've seen throughout today's journey, even the most seemingly mundane coins can hold secrets waiting to be discovered. What makes the 2005 D dime remarkable isn't a dramatic error or a glaring flaw. Its uniqueness lies in subtlety, an almost invisible difference that only the most observant collectors can spot. A tiny imperfection in the die caused slight variations in the spacing of the letters, the relief of Roosevelt's profile, and even the depth of certain design details. To anyone casually glancing at it, it looks just like any other dime from 2005. But to specialists in modern coin varieties, these differences are unmistakable, and they can create incredible value. The Denver Mint in 2005 was operating at full capacity. Every day, millions of dimes rolled off the presses, struck with precision and inspected with care. Automation and quality control ensured consistency, yet even the most advanced minting process cannot completely eliminate the chance of a minor anomaly. A single die with a subtle imperfection, used in a small batch of coins, would later become the source of one of the most sought-after modern dime varieties. For years, these dimes passed unnoticed through the hands of everyday Americans. They landed in cash registers, vending machines, and bank deposits, blending in seamlessly with ordinary coinage. Nobody suspected that within the millions of coins minted that year, a few contained a subtle signature that would one day enthrall collectors. The discovery of this variety didn't happen overnight. It took the dedication of modern die specialists, who began examining 2000's coins under magnification, looking for subtle patterns and inconsistencies. Slowly, they noticed slight irregularities in the lettering, minor differences in the contours of Roosevelt's face, and unusual relief in certain areas of the coin. Each small anomaly added up, confirming the existence of a rare die variation. Once word got out in collector circles, excitement exploded. Coin shops, online auctions, estate sales, and even long-forgotten jars of change became treasure troves. Enthusiasts carefully inspected each dime, hoping to uncover the elusive variety. But rarity and condition go hand in hand. Most circulated dimes showed wear, scratches, and bag marks, making them less desirable. Only coins with near-pristine detail, sharp relief, and original luster became true collector's items. Collectors began to share images and compare notes online, debating the subtle differences that could make or break a coin's authenticity. Some coins were confirmed as true die varieties, while others turned out to be ordinary circulation pieces. The thrill of discovery, combined with careful documentation, elevated this dime from everyday change to a coveted modern treasure. The 2005 D dime is a reminder that rarity isn't always tied to age. Even coins minted in our lifetime can suddenly become highly sought after when a small, almost invisible variation sets them apart. It highlights the importance of observation, patience, and the thrill of discovery. Every coin in circulation has the potential to be extraordinary, if you know what to look for. Collectors have learned a valuable lesson from this dime: modern coins are not immune to rarity. While many assume that only older coins can be valuable, the 2005 D shows that even recent minting can produce hidden treasures. For those willing to study, search, and learn, the modern era is filled with opportunities for remarkable finds. And now, the moment every collector has been waiting for, the finest known 2005 D Roosevelt dime has been valued at an astonishing $33,000. It's truly remarkable to think that a coin that many would dismiss as ordinary change could carry such immense value. The 2005 D dime proves that treasure can be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the patient and observant collector to recognize it. Its journey from pocket change to a prized collectible is a testament to curiosity, diligence, and the thrill of discovery. This coin also serves as a reminder that modern coin collecting is alive and full of surprises. Every roll of dimes, every jar of loose coins, might contain a hidden gem. The 2005 D Roosevelt dime is proof that even in the most recent decades, coins can carry history, intrigue, and extraordinary value. For collectors, it's both a challenge and an inspiration, to examine each coin carefully, to never overlook the ordinary, and to understand that the modern era holds its own hidden legends. The 2005 D dime stands as a shining example, proving that even the newest coins can become treasures in the right hands. So the next time you reach into your pocket or pull out a handful of change, remember, the next great discovery could be right there, quietly waiting for someone who knows how to look. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more rare coin stories, tips, and discoveries, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an exciting treasure we uncover next. We love sharing the thrill of coin collecting with fellow enthusiasts, and your support means the world. Every like, comment, and share helps us continue bringing you amazing stories from the world of coins. Your support not only motivates us but also helps our community of collectors grow stronger every day. Keep hunting, keep discovering, and remember, the next hidden gem could be right under your nose.